Why did I completely let go of pads and embrace cloth pads instead, and Diva Cups on occasion? Welcome to Life with Low TV. My name is Leilani Oliveira and I am a self-mastery and wellness coach for women. Welcome. I am excited you are here. Today we are talking about pads. I want to share some information about why I switched, completely from using pads during my menstrual cycle or tampons and completely switched to using cloth pads and Diva Cups on occasion if I'm going to the beach or I know I'm going to be somewhere that cloth pads won't work. So, one of the biggest things we need to understand about pads is they are tied to so many illnesses, so many dis-ease of the body, including cancer, including infertility, thyroid malfunction, as well as birth defect in children. And it's something that it's not on the news everywhere. People aren't always speaking about, but it's something we should know as women. Statistics show that women, range, the number varies, but from 16,000 to 32 pads in their lifetime. We use 16,000 to 32 pads in our lifetimes. So this is something we have to know. We use it every single month. But the information is not mainstream. It's not all over the place. And that's really why I wanted to make this video, to share my experience and the information that I have learned on my journey as a wellness coach. So with all these diseases being linked to pads, specifically, with women and infertility, like that is such, a very delicate and hurtful news for a woman to receive, that she might be infertile at the time and you don't even know that it could be related to years of just unknowingly wearing pads every single day from a very young age to adulthood, if that's when you're planning on conceiving. So these diseases and also ovarian cancer, so it ranges, but what it's being, what is really tied to is the vulva, right? The tissue on the outer layer of a woman's vagina is one of the most observant tissue on a woman's body. It's a very sensitive place and it really absorbs a lot. So when you are putting a pad there every single month, it's absorbing a lot of things that the pad has. Now, what do pads have? Outside of plastic, which could be extremely bad for your body, and a lot of people are embracing the lifestyle of getting away from plastic. Outside of that, it also has pesticides and herbicides, and the reason why it does is because most pads are made with cotton, and cotton, like any other crop, is sprayed with pesticides and herbicides. And just like we're trying to eliminate that, we should be, or most people are, and trying to eliminate that out of by washing their fruits and veggies. Even though you're doing that, if you're a woman and still not aware about it being in our pads, you are consuming that into your body. Something else that they have is dioxin. So this is a chemical pollutant that they use, and how we get this is most pads, again, because of the cotton that it's made out of. So cotton, when it's freshly picked, it's white, but it's not a fresh white like we see on the pad. So what happens is, because mentally we correlate this whiteness to cleanliness, freshness, most companies, what they do is they actually bleach the cotton. So the dioxin is actually in the bleach that they are putting or putting the cotton in and dyeing it. So all that residue of the bleach, of the pesticides, of the herbicides is actually on your pad. So what happens is, again, when you are using this pad unknowingly every single month and you're putting it in your yoni space, this sacred space, this this hole, to the porthole to your being, to your spirit, and also to your body, to this temple that the sacred temple of yours, which you're doing without even knowing. And I know most of it's miseducation, because that's where I was at a period of time in my life. Without you knowing, you're doing that to your body every single month. And what happens is, you're not only messing with the ecosystem, that this beautiful ecosystem of your body, and getting it out of balance, but because your body is absorbing all these chemicals and toxins, it's causing you to have certain diseases, or slowly accumulating in an imbalance that could potentially lead to a disease. Okay, and that is one of the reasons why there's a bunch of reasons in there, but the main reason was my health. I decided to take back my power of learning about my body, learning about the products I'm using, specifically a product that I use every single month. So one is tied to health. I wanted to get rid of all those toxins. I don't want that in my body. Can you imagine what bleach does to your body? You know, when you're observing it every single month for a lot of days, can you imagine how you're consuming, you know, what it does to you when you're consuming pesticides into your body? You know, it's leading to a lot of diseases that your body is trying to fight. But when you are constantly, you know, that tissue is absorbing it in, you know, at some point your body gets out of whack in a way that it can't do its job of eliminating and getting you in sync, you know, with health. Now, number 2 reason, and really, you know, there's a lot of reasons, but there are 2 bulks. So one is the health that I spoke about, and the other bulk is the environment. Mother Earth, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful home. You know, this foundation that feels my feet as I walk, the foundation that shows me so much beauty, that feeds me, gives me air. You know, most and all, you know, retail pads that you find in CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, etc., they have a lot of plastic. So not only do they have the plastic outside layer that you tear open to get the pad out, but the actual pad is plastic. So, and we know what we know about plastic is it's getting into our lakes, it's getting into our ocean, you know, Mother Ocean, and it's completely getting Mother Earth out of sync. It is hurting our planet, our home, because it takes a very long time for plastic to break down. So when women are constantly using this every single month, it's hurting the planet because it's getting into, you know, our landfills. So because it's getting there, it takes a very long time to break down. And, you know, what ends up happening is animals are consuming this and dying. You know, the actual dye the bleach that is in the pad, the pesticides, all those chemicals, you know, when they're getting into the lakes, they're leaking out, and animals are, you know, consuming it because it's in their home, right? And it's causing even animals to become infertile. So there's a lot of imbalances that happen. We are so connected to nature. So anytime that we hurt nature, we are hurting ourselves. So another element was definitely Earth, Mother Earth, and nature. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing anything that was harming Mother Earth. So, you know, I now use cloth pads, and all that means is just a pad. There's so many different kinds, and I'll make a video about it, so check out my channel about the different kinds and how I went through the process of finding the right pads that actually worked. But check that out on the next video. So the cloths is the cloth pad. You put it on, there's many different sizes, there's many different shapes. You just simply button it. There's a little button that you button over your underwear. It stays in place. There's actually some stickers that you could put on to have it stay in place. It's comfortable, it feels good. Of course, every woman's body is different, so you want to try it out if you feel like it's a switch that you want to make. Another option outside of tampons, because I didn't really talk about tampons, but it's a very similar, like it's exactly the same with tampons as what I talked about as far as pads. It's the same scenario, and there's so many people that have died of toxic syndrome, and that's something to look out to. If you look it on, some women have actually died from wearing tampons. So tampons is even worse because you are inserting it right into that sacred space, right into that very sensitive part of your being, of your body. So tampons is, you know, it's the same exact thing. So I've eliminated tampons completely out of my lifestyle, as well as pads. So instead of tampons, what I use is the Diva Cup. And I will also be creating more videos on the Diva Cup so you can understand it more, you can know how to insert it in, and if you have any questions, I can answer from my experience. Okay, and that is all. Make sure that you share with me. If you have any questions at all, comment below and let me know. If you have any other thing that you know is important for women to know about pads and tampons, please share with us. I would love to continue learning and knowing more, and I'm sure every single one of my subscribers would love to as well. You can find me on Instagram. My information is down below. I'm always doing stories, and I'm always on there. And you can also reach me out through email. If you have any questions about my services, make sure that you check out my website. Alright, so that is it. I have completely changed to cloth pads, and it has just been life-changing. It's been so good because all these chemicals don't belong in my body, and it feels so empowering to know what's in it and not allow these big corporations to continue to profit off my body, you know, this sacred temple of mine. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, any questions, comments, leave them below. All right, peace and love. Take care of yourself.